Then, when he's not here at KARE 11, Bob Chooch Rivard is known around the world for his incredible model train display. If you see any video today and remember it tomorrow, this will be it. Next.
We have come to the end, the caboose of our Thanksgiving show, if you will, and it's about our coworker Chooch. That's his nickname. Chooch is Chooch because he loves model trains. He has for more than 50 years. And tonight we are going to show you his labor of love, a 30-year project, building train cars and sets and tracks and landscapes in his basement so that they look identical to the train routes of the Soo Line in 1977 in Northeast Minneapolis. So buckle up. You are about to go back in time to see that history, to see 1977 that Chooch built.
This is Rice Street back there, and now he's crossing Lexington Avenue, and this is Johnson Street right here. My name is Bob Rivard, and we're in Northeast Minneapolis now in my basement, and the year is 1977. All the cars on the railroad are modeled and detailed from actual photos of train cars that existed in my era of 1977. All the really cool engines were still running. By 1980, all these engines were basically stored and sent for scrap. All these scenes you see down here are actually still exist or have existed. That's St. Paul structural steel in back of you over in St. Paul. Shaw lumber, a lot of that stuff is gone now. If it's after 77, it doesn't get on the railroad. Here comes the Rock Island Transfer. He's coming up to the stop sign at New Brighton to the, they called that a diamond. He would blow his horn. This is exactly how it would have happened. Probably 250 engines, probably 200 Soo Line engines that I've recreated and modeled from actual photographs. I photographed this thing back in like 1982 with the thought of, well, if I ever want to model this someday, I better get some photographs of it. And thankfully I did, because it's basically gone. And this a couple of years ago, I went out to the real Cardigan Junction and I took photos of the real sky and the real scenery. I'm trying to recreate how it really looked back then. When I was a kid, I would hear the train coming up the hill, hop on my bike, and I'd run up and wait for the train. I would be just fascinated watching them cutting off these big, long trains, watching them get these trains over the hill. And I was probably 5 years old, seeing these big white locomotives come by with this big SOO. And I was just captured by that. This is exactly this location. The kid on the bike in the picture, at Benjamin Street, he could very well be me. Here comes, the gates are coming down at 37th Avenue here. They're completely scratch built. You can't go to a store and buy these. They say that the railroad's never finished, and there's always something you can fine tune. The older I get, now I'm starting to think, oh, this is really big down here. It may catch up with me someday, all these, this crawling around and ducking under and stuff, but well, I'll figure that out when it comes, you know. You put little decoder boards in them with little speakers, and they recreate the actual sound, the light circuits. You can see the strobe flasher. It's always 1977. It's my escape from, if I have a hard day at the office, I come down here with maybe an adult beverage, sit in the helix and watch the trains go up the big spiral to get to the third level. And that's how I relax and unwind, you know. Oh, so there goes our eastbound around the curve at Cardigan Junction here, and he's out of here. He's on the way to Chicago now.
Worked here for 15 years. That's the one story I wanted to do.
Look at that shot in the helix. How do they get that shot?
This is Chooch.
How do they get that? Carly did a fantastic.
How do you feel?
I haven't seen it yet. This is the first time I've seen it. I've heard about it, but I feel a little weird right now, Jenna. But that was so cool having Carly come over and she did such a fantastic job shooting this thing. Oh man.
Why?
Otherwise I got nothing else.
Why? What is it about 77 that made you so passionate?
You know, the Soo Line was such a big deal in Northeast Minneapolis, part of the history of Northeast. Everybody knew someone that worked at the big showroom shops on Central. Yeah, it was just a big, and it was ingrained in me as a kid, running up and seeing those trains come up the hill.
Everyone's got their Nirvana. This is yours.
Yes.
It's your getaway.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Thank you. Happy
Chooch.
Thanksgiving,
We
you guys.
appreciate
That
you,
was
Bob.
great.
Happy Thanksgiving to all of you.
Thank you.